He stood in the courtroom, hands trembling, not because he feared prison, but because the truth he was about to reveal would destroy a billionaire, expose corruption at the highest level, and change his daughter's life forever. This is the story of a single dad, a veteran once known as Commander Hawk in Delta Force, framed for a crime he didn't commit, until the truth exploded in court. If you believe truth always finds its way to light, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and stay till the end. You won't forget what happens next. Ethan Cole wasn't supposed to be here. He was supposed to be home, cooking dinner for his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, helping her with her math homework, maybe humming some old country tune as she smiled at him. But instead, he stood in a courtroom, wearing the same black suit he'd worn to his wife's funeral. As cameras flashed and whispers filled the air, the headlines had already condemned him. Single dad veteran steals defense contract files linked to billionaire's competitor scandal. Everyone thought Ethan was a traitor. Everyone except Lily, who sat quietly in the front row, clutching her father's old military dog tags like they were magic. But the truth was darker, deeper, and more powerful than anyone knew. Because the man who framed him, Richard Vaughn, one of America's youngest billionaires, wasn't just his boss, he was the man Ethan once saved in combat years before the scandal. Ethan Cole was a name whispered in the shadows of classified missions. A Delta Force commander known by the call sign Hawk. He led impossible missions, saving lives where hope had already died. One mission changed everything. Vaughn, then a young embedded tech contractor, was captured overseas. Ethan's team risked everything to bring him home. Vaughn promised, "If I ever make it big, Hawk, I'll take care of you for life." Years passed. Ethan retired after losing his wife to cancer. With no one but Lily, he needed work, and Vaughn remembered his promise. He hired Ethan as head of security for Vaughn Defense Systems, a billion-dollar tech empire. For a while, it felt like things were turning around. Ethan finally had stability, a good salary, and time with his daughter. But something inside Vaughn had changed. The man who once feared death in the desert now worshipped power in glass towers. Vaughn was involved in shady arms deals, selling tech to rogue nations through shell companies, and Ethan stumbled across proof. Ethan confronted him late one night in Vaughn's office. "Rich, you can't do this," he said, his voice heavy but calm. "You're selling weapons to the same people we fought to stop." Vaughn smirked. "You think you're a hero, Hawk? Heroes die poor. I'm rewriting the rules." Days later, federal agents raided Ethan's home. His computer, planted with fake files, linked him to stolen defense data. Vaughn played the victim, claiming his trusted friend betrayed him. Ethan was dragged away in front of Lily, his little girl screaming his name as reporters swarmed the front yard. Months turned into years of trials, public humiliation, and poverty. Ethan sold everything to pay lawyers. Still, he never gave up. He worked late nights cleaning garages, fixing cars, whatever it took to feed Lily. He trained himself to be his own investigator, digging through every file, every leak, and every contact he once had from his Delta days. That's when he found her, Maya Torres, a journalist who once embedded with his unit in Iraq. She owed him her life. And when Ethan told her the truth, she didn't hesitate. Together, they dug into Vaughn's offshore accounts, tracing a network of encrypted transfers that proved Ethan's innocence, but proof wasn't enough. They needed evidence Vaughn couldn't deny. So Ethan did the unthinkable. He went undercover again. With help from an old comrade nicknamed Bear, he hacked into Vaughn's internal servers during a gala, planting a tracker that led to encrypted footage, Vaughn himself authorizing the fake data transfer to Ethan's computer. Now it all came down to this moment. The courtroom. The trial that would either destroy him or save him. Vaughn sat across the aisle, confident, surrounded by expensive lawyers. Ethan's lawyer was a public defender, young and nervous, but Ethan wasn't afraid. When it was his turn to speak, Ethan stood up. "Your Honor," he said, "I've been called a hero, a traitor, and a liar. But I'm none of those things. I'm a father. And I'm a soldier who swore to protect this country, even from people like him." The prosecutor scoffed. "Do you have proof, Mr. Cole?" Ethan nodded slowly. "Play Exhibit 47B." The screen lit up. Hidden camera footage from Vaughn's own office. His voice was unmistakable. "Frame Cole. Make him the fall guy. He's too clean, too good. No one will question it." Gasps filled the courtroom. Vaughn's face went white. His lawyers froze. The judge slammed her gavel. Within hours, Vaughn was in handcuffs. The same media that once called Ethan a traitor now hailed him a hero. But Ethan didn't smile. Not yet. He turned toward the front row, toward Lily, who ran into his arms crying, "Daddy, you told me truth always wins." He smiled, holding her close. "And I meant it, sweetheart. Always." Months later, Ethan turned down book deals, interviews, and political offers. He didn't want fame. He wanted peace. He opened a small garage for veterans struggling to rebuild their lives, calling it Hawks Haven. When reporters asked him why he forgave the man who destroyed his life, he simply said, "Because hate is a prison. And I've already spent enough time behind bars." And as the camera fades out on the YouTube video, his voice echoes, "If you believe truth matters, if you believe in redemption, then never stop fighting for it." Hit that like button, subscribe, and share this story. Because somewhere, another innocent soul is fighting to be heard.